Hello, hello, and welcome to the channel. Today it's on to race 4 of the Kart to Kart Summer 2020 karting series, and with this one comes a few changes to the race format. So, starting off with qualifying and patented tire warming skills. This is one thing that hasn't changed. There's still first round qualifying, but we're starting out here in kind of the back of the pack and trying to get the tires as warm as possible. And it's almost every straight, trying to get as much space between myself and the rest of the group to really optimize those hot lap times. As you can see, just every straight, trying to get those tires as warm as possible before we can start putting in some good laps. But while we're getting started here, I guess I'll start to explain what the new race format is. So with there's, as always, the round of qualifying to start the night off, but instead of going on to the second round of qualifying, there is going to be a heat race with a rolling start that you kind of get lined up based on your fastest time for qualifying, and whatever position that you finish in that race will determine your starting position for the feature race, which will also be a rolling gridded start this time. But anyway, back to qualifying. You'll see those changes later in the video. But back to qualifying, I'm still starting to put in some hot laps here, catching up to this group in front of me who's starting to fight a little bit. Really letting me kind of creep right on up to back them, but oh, and there you go, right up on the back of car number 6, and luckily we have some nice people this time, so I kind of pass him right on the inside, and he kind of just lets me go, which is very nice of him, and we can move on up, trying to still putting down those lap times. But as we're coming up here on kart number 3 again, I believe this is the same person that was a little bit aggressive in the last video, but once again, same place, just shoot it on up the inside, job done. And we can have a nice open space between myself and the next kart. This is kart in front of me is the same person as last time. He's about the same skill level as me, maybe slightly faster. So I know I can follow him pretty well. And obviously, after skipping forward through the rest of the qualifying, close to the end here, not much has changed between me and the kart in front of me. We're still keeping pretty steady, but this lap right here that's kind of coming to a close was I believe my fastest lap of the session. You can see I managed to close the gap on kart 4 here really quickly in those last few corners, but he's kind of pulls away down the straight. Oh, not much I can really do. I'm trying to keep as close as I can to him and follow his line, maybe learn a few things from him, and try to get ever faster. But I think with that, there's the checkered flag for the end of the first round of qualifying. Obviously, I managed to grab third out of this qualifying round. You can see how close it was. I only managed to grab third by hundredths of a second there, and that'll lead us into the heat race, which I think yeah, for some reason they decided to just I guess change up the gridding based on the qualifying session. So I managed to start at the start of the line here, but they still kept with the kind of the rolling start with the safety car in front of us. But now we are not in a grid. We're just in a single file line. Again, to try to maybe spread the race out a little bit more. I think what ended up happening was this was pretty much treated as a second round of qualifying. I think they're still trying out the rolling start here, as this was a brand new thing that they introduced tonight. But and with that, the safety cart goes off, and we'll start the round. So getting obviously not able to get as much tire warming in as I would like to, and kind of missing some of these apex due to the colder tires. But anyway, we're dealing with that, and trying to go as quickly as possible, but while checking, kind of seeing where the rest of the pack is. And again, I think at this point I wasn't exactly sure that they'd be treating this as a qualifying race, so I'm trying to make sure that there's no one behind me. But as we go on, I think obviously not much is happening. I'm trying to keep the laps as clean and consistent as possible, starting to gap some of the group a little bit as they're fighting behind me. But getting the tires are starting to warm up a little bit more, so I'm able to really hit these apexes as the cart bounces around that corner. But anyway, I think not much exciting going on, other than just trying to nail the turns, hit those braking points, get the fastest laps as possible. And I think just went a little bit wide on that point there, and managed to flip the chicane, but nothing much to say about that. Oh, and there's the checkered flag for the end of the heat race. So not a bad time. Managed to improve on my qualifying time by 2/10, and work my way up. But I think same as the past few races, they kind of kept they gridded you up on the feature race based on your top times of both qualifying. So I managed to stay in third place, and we'll start off with the feature race here, which you can see is still a rolling start with the safety car kind of leading us around the track, but in a grid formation instead of a single file. So again, keeping those tire warming skills up to practice and up to snuff, but obviously not going as fast to get them as warm as possible, but still trying to get them somewhat warm while keeping as close as I can to the carts in front of me to get the best start as I can. Obviously, it's a little bit different with the rolling start. There's really you kind of just have to put your foot down and off you go without any bouncing this time. But you come up here kind of right behind first place, and go side by side with second through turn 1, and again through I think that's turn 3, but and again through that turn. I try to stick my nose in there and get ahead, but he manages to pull ahead with the chicane. Kart 13, as you'll see here, kind of just takes off down the street, and within a few seconds he's already got like 3 kart lengths on me, and then he's just gone. I'm trying to keep as close as I can, but obviously these are just your rental carts, so some of them are a little bit better in other ways than others. Some are faster down the straight, some are better in the corners. They try to keep them as close as can, but obviously there's some deviation. But skipping ahead till almost the end of the feature race. Obviously not much changed. It was a pretty steady race after it all settled down. And second place managed to overtake first the Kart 13. Managed to actually overtake Kart 4 and gain the lead. I'm kind of just sitting back, kind of waiting for them to fight or defend, so I can maybe gain some ground on them. But that never happened, and I kind of felt myself in just a hole in third place, which is still a podium position. So I'm not too disappointed about it. But obviously first place is the name of the game, and there's the white flag signaling the final lap of the race. So at this point, I'm kind of just making sure I can bring it on in without making any mistakes. I think there's a pretty sizable gap between myself and fourth place though, but obviously I'm not gonna be able to catch up for second here. So bringing it on in around the final corner, and there's a checkered flag. That'll be third place again for the night. So not too bad, but obviously not the most exciting of races this time, but still a decent result and some decent times for the night. But I think with that'll round up the night. And if you enjoyed, please be sure to do all the good YouTube things, and I will see you next time.